So to start, I wanted to go ahead and start with a little story that might entice your imagination to believe about all that is possible once we open our mind and step into that full potential that I will be introducing to everyone with all the things that I am sharing with you guys. So for one, the story is going to be that of, is it possible that we can indeed shift through timelines and reality? You know, we see it in movies, we see it the latest Loki episode, right, was like, wow, like that gives quite a good explanation into what I've already been dissecting and experiencing with multiple Mandela effects, right, that we've all been sharing on TikTok, for example. It's quite interesting to see how we are opening up to these possibilities and how exciting it is that we don't have to necessarily remain stuck in one way of living when we can actually tune in to different timelines by changing the way we think, the way we process our emotional states, and the way that we just allow and flow rather than forcing and swimming against the current. Learning how to flow with the wave and allowing ourselves to trust the intention that we place so that in that shifting, we are navigating like true surfers of these waves and stepping into a new possibility that's going to now give us more of that very thing that we desire, and we can step out of that very thing that we no longer want, right? So some call it manifestation and other things. I truly just call it a form of energy work by intentional conscious manifestation, right? Because first we have to be intentional about what is it that we truly desire and we want to experience, so that once we know where we're going, we find the pathways that are going to lead us in that direction, right? But that is the first step. In order for you to step into that which you do want, you have to understand that you have to know what is it that you truly want. What do you prefer? What is it that you envision yourself experiencing? What is it that you want to feel and hear and smell and touch and explore and see with your eyes, with all of your eyes, your third eye, multiple eyes, whatever it is that you want to experience? It is all possible, but you have to believe it's possible. And once you believe it's possible and you allow yourself to flow into that intention, you will be quite surprised to understand and see how accurate things can actually turn out for you. And you would just think, wow, I was just thinking that yesterday. And here I am experiencing what I just thought about. Like, what are the odds that, what? Has that ever happened to you? It happens to me all the time. But I wanted to get the formula as to what is it that I'm doing that is actually allowing these things to occur the same way that I was kind of picturing in my head. I know it has to do a lot with imagining and intention and visualizing, right? And feeling yourself in these experiences, which is a lot of what I do. But sometimes it's almost like I want this, but before I get there, I have to move the things in me that are not in alignment with that experience. So there has to be a little chaos sometimes, a little chaos, a little turn here and a little detour over there and a little of the things that you may not want, so that the balancing of the scales can occur. So that once the scales are balanced, you are back into your 0 point. And once you reach that 0 point, you can step right into that manifestation as if you just thought about it and poof, just like that, it just appeared. And then you're stuck like, if I tell people this, they're not going to believe me. So then I started documenting these things, right? Because it was very important for me to know that I'm going to put an intention, and once I make it happen, I need proof that I can share. Because I need to know that it is not just me seeing these things, right? So then that started happening. That's when the Mandela effect started happening, where it was like one day the store sign was one color, and as soon as that intention happened, and I felt the little shift. It was just like the sign just completely changed color overnight. I just saw it yesterday. I drive here every single day. I didn't even see people working on it. So the sign just changed and the color. Okay, so it's just overnight. And I had to get the evidence. So because I was still in that kind of in between, I was able to take a screenshot of the Google search as to the color that I was. And then I took a picture of the day of to prove that I had shifted. Then I went into the place and I said, I have to ask them. I want to see what's going to happen. So I went ahead and I asked, hey, by any chance did you guys change your sign to a different color like yesterday? Because I saw it yesterday, but did you change it like last night or something? People came in. They're like, what sign? I was like, the sign outside, the main sign. They're looking at me like, what are you talking about? So yeah, okay, let me explain. Do you believe about Mandela effects? Do you believe about Mandela effects? They were like, we don't know what that is. Okay, listen to me. What color is your sign? She says, I think it's blue, purple, I think. Purple. Yeah, purple. I was like, yeah, right. That's what I thought too, right? So can you believe that the sign is red? And she looks puzzled. She's like, what are you talking about? No, it's purple. Yes, I know. I know. That's what I thought too. But guess what? You go outside right now and it's red. And then me and the lady, the other employees, we all go outside, we look at it. One of them was startled, like, wow, that's crazy. And the lady, as soon as she looked at it, she's like, oh yeah, it's always been like that. Who is the lady that just told me that it was purple? That was suspicious. So then I was like, okay, that's documented. We need to document that effect because I don't know what just happened. She just agreed it was purple before she saw it. And once she saw it, she said, oh yeah, it's always been like that since we opened. Okay. But you just said, okay, fine. I get it. I get it. It's, it's still in the motion because when energy is going and you break into another frequency, you're not going from here to boop, here. So now some of the stuff that you have are going to come with you and some stuff are not going to be there anymore. This is why sometimes you stop talking to certain people. They move away, you grow apart. You just never see them ever again since the last time you see them. Or things like that happen. Or you lose your job or your car breaks down and you have to get a new car. And all these things start happening when these transitions occur, which is pretty interesting. But I'm saying this story because there's more to life and there's more that we don't necessarily really know that is possible. And I wanted to go ahead and introduce you guys to what that is and how I maneuver my way through different timelines because I learned the system of how to change the channel. Yeah, it sounds, I know, I'm hearing myself and I'm just like, what? Did I just say that out loud? I did. I did, but guess what? I have proof of all this because I need to prove myself. But I have proof of all this. And not only that, there's other people talking about it. There's even books written about it. Here's another thing that happens. So when you're on one timeline, you might have watched a movie that was really good. You even wrote notes about it because there was some philosophy in it that benefit you. And you remember, oh my God, this philosophy, I saw this movie and it was great. Talk about the movie. You even show them what you wrote about the movie. Then all of a sudden you look up the movie on Google, you look at it, and then you don't find it. Then you go to the source where you watched it. It's not there. It's nowhere to be found. The movie never existed. So I thought. And I'm like, wait, hold on. The movie never existed. Hold on. How is that possible? I know I watched this movie. I literally have documentation of word by word of what was said in that movie. I have to find the movie now. So I went ahead and as far as finding the actors, me look up the actors. And then when I look up the actors, I'm going to look up what movies they've been in, and the movie will be in that list. Maybe I forgot the name of the movie, right? So I said, let me do that. I do that. No, it wasn't there. It was never there. And none of the actors, I looked up the three actors that were in this movie, it was not there. And I'm like, okay, what's happening? How is it possible that some things exist in some places and others do not? So to finish my story, the movie doesn't exist in the timeline. Time passes. Then I started getting curious about all these anomalies, and I was like, okay, I gotta document this one. Because all I've been doing for the past few years is taking notes and data and information and marking everything, getting proof, and making sure everything is broken down. Because I was like, I need to know this for myself, but also to verify the possibilities of what is it that I'm actually doing right now. So then I don't find the movie. And then all of a sudden, this actor who was dead like 2-3 years ago appears being alive. That was a bit much for me. Then I was like, okay, I'm switching timelines. I'm just gonna say this is what's happening. Because what other explanation could there be? I have a whole bunch of Mandela effects happening. I'm definitely, obviously, switching timelines. And then I started getting familiar with the tonality of that timeline, meaning the frequency that I was in, the feeling. What was I attracting? What experiences was I having? What emotional states was I in? What emotional states was I attracting in others? What was a common denominator of conversations? What were people's interests and attitudes and perceptions? And by me observing the behavior of myself and others around me, I started getting familiar with where I was going in the ups or downs of the frequency. You see, because the concept of, if you want to know the secret of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, like Nikola Tesla said, right? And what do I mean by this? Well, basically, every time we feel something, we experience the emotional state of something, we are only feeling and experiencing the energy that is flowing within us, because emotion is actually energy in motion, in the motion within us, in our vessel, in our experience. And as we feel these emotional states, it is up to us to entertain the emotional state, to sit in it, to grip it, to tighten it, to tense up with it, or to just allow it to flow. Like the wind blowing in our hair, we're not grabbing the air and like, I'm gonna hold you forever. No, we don't do that. We don't hold the wind. We just let the wind blow our hairs. When you learn to realize that energy is your emotional state, and all the energies that are creating our reality are just constantly vibrating and roaming around like the wind. And when we feel one, it is not necessarily to be held and captured in our body and stuck and triggered by it, right? It is to be felt with awareness, a moment of reflection, a moment of, anxiety, here you are. What might have brought you here today? Like a visitor in your house. How dare you come unannounced? I didn't call you. I didn't invite you over. What's your reasoning behind this visit today? Unless the anxiety says, I'm just roaming around because I feel neglected. And you had a thought earlier that kind of triggers slight anxiety. And I figured you were in slight alignment with me. So I threw in a little thought to amplify that attraction so that I can align with you today. And you fed into those thoughts because you received them and continued on those thoughts. So now I am here, as you did invite me, because you chose to entertain the thoughts that brought me here. If emotions were to speak that way to us, we would start realizing, oh, yeah, I did invite you. I did invite you because I thought about that time 10 years ago that I was getting anxiety on stage. But that experience got triggered because I was asked to give a presentation at work, and it triggered that emotional state in me to be like, oh my God, I'm nervous. I don't want to speak. I don't want to be in, I don't want to make a mistake. So because I was triggered to be nervous, and then I allowed my thoughts to take over by giving me all the case scenarios of all the possibilities of all the wrong things that can happen. Right, I did invite you. You're right. Okay, so how are we gonna uninvite you? Well, let's sit and talk. So I'm making this whole dialogue because if we make life comical, if we make life fun, if we make it a moment to embrace, a moment to filter through what's going on, a moment to self-reflect, a moment to be playful, like I'm being nonchalant, playful, I'm not even caring what I'm saying and just being myself. If we learn to take life a little less serious and we learn to just flow with the wave, right? It will get a lot more fun and exciting and playful. And we start to master ourselves because we make it that way. Because we start to realize it was my choice to think what I thought, to then invite the emotion of anxiety into my experience today. That was my choice. It wasn't because of my boss telling me to do the presentation. It wasn't because of what happened to me when I was 10. It wasn't because of what they said to me or about me like 2 months ago, right? None of that had to do with how I felt because only I am responsible for how I decide to feel. Now, if you switch it around and you go into mastery, let's say the same presentation comes about and you say, okay, okay, presenting something today. Okay, here I am. I got this. I got this, baby girl. You got this. Because when do you not have this? Come on, speak to yourself like you would to your friends. Speak to yourself like you want your mama to speak to you. Speak to yourself with kindness and compassion and understanding, with motivation, and be your number one cheerleader. When you're stuck in a situation, you feel nervous, right away go into mommy mode, go into I got you mode, go into big system mode, go into whatever mode you need to go to feel what you need to feel. Because you need to become the person that you needed when you were going through that, let's say when you were 10. Who did you need to guide you, to support you, to do whatever it is that you needed to feel better about the situation? Become that for yourself. That is a process of self-loving yourself, right? So we can't speak to us the way we want to speak to our friends, right? We have to speak to us like we truly love ourselves, like we truly support our choices, like we really want to see the best for ourselves. So in that situation, when you're going through the same concept, the same experience, and you are in the process of a self-mastered individual, which is what what I'm going to introduce you guys to, you want to become your support system. You want to be there for you. Because if you're not there for you, why expect anybody else to be there for you? If you don't believe in yourself, why would someone else believe in yourself? If you don't trust yourself, why would someone else trust you? If you can, people can only see and experience you the way you see yourself and experience yourself. Number one. So in that situation, I'm gonna go ahead and tell myself, okay, you got this, girl. You're gonna present this. You're gonna do you because you is that girl, okay? And you're just gonna, hey guys, and I'm a bit nervous. Vulnerability is always a plus. I'm a bit nervous today. I haven't done a presentation in a very long time. I'm a bit slightly nervous, but I'm going to embrace that nervousness and that little fear that I'm feeling right now and tell myself it's excitement. It's excitement that I'm feeling right now. And thank you guys for being here to witness this excitement that I'm going to share with you, because this is a moment to capture for all of us today. Start with that icebreaker, with the motivating icebreaker. And your energy is just gonna be in flow. See, that's what I kind of did today. I was in a good mood and I was like, you know what? I need to make a video. I need to start sharing content. I need now in the scenario that happened, that I'm self-mastered, that I'm self-loving myself, that I'm self-motivating myself, that I'm believing in myself. Doesn't matter what life brings me. I got this. Because my intention is I got this, I got me. So the universe is aligning that information, that energy back to me, because that's the energy I'm emitting, because that's the thoughts I'm having, that's the emotional states I'm having, that's the feelings and the sensations I'm experiencing, because that's what I believe of myself. That is my self-concept. So now the universe, even when something seems a little shaky, a little turbulent, a little chaotic, a little spicy, everything always turns out in my favor. Why? Because why would it not? Hello? Hello? Why would it not? There's no space in my belief system to think otherwise. I've already sunk it with self-confidence. I already sunk it down with self-belief because I have enough experience on my belt to remember who the hell I am, right? So I was like, oh, all that self-doubt has faded throughout the years because I've been through enough in my life to know what I'm capable of. So when you know what you're capable of, because life has allowed you the experience and the opportunity to practice that self-mastery, to practice your strength, to practice your courage, to practice your self-reliance and your resilience, right? How can you be in doubt of yourself when you have been gifted the opportunity? And why did that opportunity, all of those opportunities come about? Because my intention was to become self-mastered, right? Self-mastered in myself, where I can turn lead into gold at any time, where I can create or make lemonade out of lemon, so I can become the true alchemist that I envision myself to be, and make use of everything that life has given me, because all of my experience are now going to serve me in my endeavors, in my career, in my creation. So what I'm saying here in a code is basically, when you learn how to self-master yourself, you're going to learn how to use all energy, good or bad, for your advantage. So that in that advantage, you're going to use it for your benefit, your creation, your manifestation, whatever it is that you want to do with it. To throw it out, to give it away, don't matter. It's yours. It is yours because you have transmuted it, cleared it, because your intention of love and abundance has aligned you perfectly with it. So before I ramble anymore, I just wanted to go ahead and share that with you guys and tell you how my little crazy stories has inspired me and motivated me into creating a system that I know is not only going to serve me, but it's going to serve most people that are in alignment with me. Because first off, if you are in alignment with me and you are seeing this video right now, which is a sign that you are in my channel, like literally in my channel, like my energetic channel, that means you're ready for a big, big change. Like the big one that's like, whoa, overnight, she just switched up. She just changed. She's a whole different person. Wow, who's that? She's all different now. Who she thinks she is? All that. He, her, whatever, they, we. So like I said, if you're in my channel, you're witnessing this video, and you are excited to explore what I mean by all this I'm saying in code, but not code because it's for real, look forward to more of my info. And my information will be in the bottom, and all the courses and workshops and one-on-one coaching session if you desire. But that won't start until next year, January. But look forward to it. And thanks for watching.